Hi everybody, and welcome back to week 6 of our Exercise Oncology Program. So we're going to be jumping into our circuit and warm up for today, but as always, just want you to take a minute to pause, check in with yourself to see how you're doing. So how are your energy levels today? And then setting your intention for the workout. So what would you like to get out of our workout for today? So without further ado, let's jump into our warm-up for today.
So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to keep building off of the last couple weeks and starting off with our warm-up. So I invite you to clear your space, make sure you have some room to work out. Today we'll be using a couple pairs of bands. So if you have a long band, to make sure you have that. If you have a little looped band, we'll use that as well if you have it, but if not, don't worry, we'll use this one here. Maybe a chair and a small set of weights. So let's get started with our warm-up. We're going to start by just jogging on the spot, getting those knees moving. Maybe you're doing a little bit of a jog here, warming up the muscles as we get ready to work out. So we'll do a 10-minute warm-up here just to get everything moving. And as always, just want everybody to check in with themselves here to see how you're doing today. So we've talked about fatigue levels before, making sure you're monitoring that throughout the class. So just check in, rate your fatigue on a scale of 1 to 10, and then set your intention for the workout today. What is it that you want to get out of our workout? All right, we're going to start to pick up the intensity a little bit. So let's take that step out a little bit wider. Knees are going to be driving into the center. Hands are still pumping side to side here. If you're looking for a little bit more intensity, what you can do is you can start to add a little bit more of a hop into this. If your intention is just to move the body for today, keep it a little bit slower. That's all right. We're going to pick it up one more time here into our speed skaters. So speed skaters in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Tap behind. So arm is coming across for counterbalance. Other foot is tapping behind here. And we can add some intensity if you'd like. Or we can stay a little taller and just do that side tap. Whatever feels best for you today. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to a little jog on the spot. We're going to move into some shoulder rolls here. So rolling those shoulders forward, loosening up those arms and shoulders. Let's start to add those circles. So growing those circles, whatever feels best for you today. Pain-free range of motion. Last big one forward here, as big as you can go. All right, pause. Rolling those shoulders back to start. We'll add in the hands and arms in a minute. So starting off small. As we're doing this one, I really want you to focus on opening up your chest. Again, we're looking for a big stretch across the chest here. Last 2 big ones. Perfect. Final one here. All right, pause. We're going to add a knee drive up and we're going to open up our chest. So opening nice and wide, we'll add that knee drive in. Step to the side. So we're looking for a little swing of the arms. Now, if you're feeling fancy and you want to challenge yourself, let's add a little bit of a hop into this. So a bit of a skip in between. Nice arm swing as we go. Last 3, 2, final 1. All right, moving into a few dynamic stretches next. We're going to keep going with our jog, switching to our lower body. So for this one, you're going to put your heel on the ground, push those hips back behind you, making sure our back is nice and straight. And then we'll sweep the hands down by the heels. Okay, so for this guy, we're looking for that stretch down the back of the legs. loosening up the hamstrings. Perfect. Couple more each side here. Making sure again that we're still pushing through the hips. We're not bending at the lower back. Last one here. Keep going with that little jog. We're going to switch it up to a hip scoop. So core is strong for this guy. You're opening that hip out to the side. And you're going to draw a big circle with that knee till it comes into the front. Keep this guy tight. So from the side, scooping in, little jog, step, switch to the other side, and reverse. Let's go one more each side here. Perfect. And last one here. Shake those legs out. We're going to get our heart rate back up again one more time and then finish with a few activation exercises. So we're going to go for some quick feet here to work on our brain to body connection. What I want you to do is start off with a little jog. We're going to go for about 15 seconds and I want you to go as fast as you can. Nice light toe taps and then we'll relax back out of it. Let's start our first one here in 3, 2, 1 and begin. Nice fast feet. We're moving those toes on the balls of our feet. Heels don't touch down. Keep going. It's going to feel like the longest 15 seconds of your life. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Ease out of it there. Little jog. Bring the heart rate back down. If you felt like that got your heart rate up, that's pretty normal, even though it was only 15 seconds. We're going to go in 10 seconds one more time, just like that. Really getting that heart rate up, working on our agility. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Nice and fast. Go, 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 go. Focus on that connection to your feet to make them move nice and quick or light on the spot. Almost there, guys. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and ease back out of it. All right, we're going to finish with a couple extra exercises just to warm up our body here. So let's go for some little squats. What I'm going to get you to do for this guy is focus on a bit of core engagement, sinking those hips back and down. As we come down, hands are going to come to the side, and then what I want you to do is roll up onto the balls of your toes, and then control back down. So we're working on a little bit of balance here, focusing on our technique, and then up onto the toes, getting those legs ready to exercise for today. Perfect. We're going to go 3 more here. These are looking great. So thinking about driving up all the way onto our toes, nice and tall. This is going to help your balance. And last one here. All right, shake that one out. Next one we're going to do, we've been working on our rows, so pulling the shoulder blades back. So we're going to practice just body weight rows to warm up our back muscles. Now I want you to stand in a sacred stance, pull that core on so our back is nice and flat. Roll those shoulders back and down. We really want to focus on tall posture. So chest should be presented towards the ceiling. Head is nice and high and in line with our spine. Hands are going to come out in front, palms face together. And we're going to pull those elbows back, squeeze between the shoulder blades. Hold for about 2 seconds. And release right back out. So the only thing that's moving on this one here is my hands. I'm not arching my back, so I'm using that core to keep the body in that nice stable position. And I'm not using my neck, so I want you to focus on pulling the elbows back and down to the wall behind you. We're going to be taking these rows one step further. And so really focusing on making sure we feel between the back here and not too much in our neck. Last 2. and 1. Okay, we're going to finish with one last warm-up exercise. Now this one involves a wall. We're going to work on stretching out our chest because I think too many of us are rounded forward because we spend our day driving, sitting at a computer, etc. So we're going to work on opening up our chest. So if you have that wall, I want you to take one hand on the wall, or you can do this just from this position as well. We're going to stand sideways, and you're going to take a step forward, leave that hand on the wall, keep the shoulder relaxed, and then step back. As you step forward, you're going to feel that big stretch in that chest. So from the front, my hand is on the wall, taking that big step forward, big stretch across the chest, and then back. We're going to hold for about 2 seconds just to get that stretch, but not hold for too long. Okay, last one on this side. And I'm going to get you to flip around, face the other direction. So same thing, find that wall, relax that shoulder down, and take that step forward, hold for 1, 2 counts, step back here. Perfect. Making sure that that shoulder is not creeping up towards the ears. Perfect. Let's go 2 more on this one. Step forward, a little core engagement, shoulders relaxed, just feeling that stretch, and easing out of it. All right, to give yourself a little shake, we're going to jump into our circuit for today, so grab some water if you want.
All right, now that we're feeling warmed up and ready to go, we're going to jump into our first circuit for today. So we have 4 exercises in this first circuit. Number 1 is going to be our squats. So for these guys, we're going to set ourselves up hip width apart with our feet. And we're working on that nice deep squat here, sinking our hips back and down, pushing up through those heels. Now, if you're up for a challenge, you have the ability to add some weights or whatever you have. Now, you can do one weight, holding it right up at the chest here. Or if you prefer, you can take both weights and hold them up at the shoulders or down by the hips. So however you're doing that, we're focusing on core for this guy here. Our second exercise is going to be either a standing bent over row with our band, or we're going to move into a seated row if that's preferable. So I'll demonstrate the standing bent over row. And then up in the corner, there will be the seated row if you prefer. So for this guy, we would step on our band here. We're going to hinge at the hips. So sink our hips back. We're looking for a bit of a stretch in the back of the legs. Core stays on. And then we'll take a deep breath in. Roll those shoulders back and down. Elbows lead the way. Pulling the band up. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Now, if you wanted to do the seated one, you would grab your chair here. And as we've seen before, loop that band over, sitting nice and tall. And then pulling the elbows back behind you. Our third exercise is going to be a tandem walk balance or single leg. So I'm going to encourage you to choose one that feels a little bit trickier and focus on that. Tandem walk, heel to toe, heel to toe. You can make this one a little harder by adding a big leg kick in and then reversing backwards. So nice big backwards kick. Or as we've seen before, that single leg stance balance, lifting that foot up, holding. Maybe you have something for support and then switching at the halfway. And then we're going to finish with a nice little high knee cardio or jog on the spot. So without waiting, let's jump into our first circuit. As we've done before, we're going to be doing 1 minute for each exercise. Take a short little break after the first 4 exercises and repeat them all again. So let's get started with our squats. So I'll demonstrate with 1 weight here. Big, tall posture, core is on. Time begins in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Squatting down. Breathing in on the way down. Big exhale to come up. Perfect. Again, we want even weight through our toes as we're doing this. Always finishing nice and tall. If the weight feels like it's too much, go ahead and drop it. Engage that core, breathe in, big exhale. Hands can come onto the hips if you prefer, or they can stay nice and tall up at the head, in front. Okay, final 10 seconds here for this one. 3, 2, 1. Ease out of that one. Shake those legs out if you need to. Let's find our band for our band row. Again, seated or standing, your choice. So if you're doing it from that standing position, we're going to add some tension, roll those shoulders back, find that core. Time begins in 3, 2, 1. Pull the elbows back behind you. Big squeeze in the shoulder blades. Exhaling as we come back, and then inhale on the way down. Perfect. And again, you do have that option of doing the seated row if that feels better, or if your back is bothering you. We just be seated here, pulling that band nice and strong. Elbows lead the way. We're into the final 20 seconds here. So check your position. Make sure you have a nice tall posture. Final 10. Last couple reps here. In 3, 2, 1. Easing out of those band rows. Let's leave that band close by for our second round. And we'll move into balance, tandem walk, or single leg stance. So I'm going to start with that single leg stance. Find your balancing position, bring that heart rate down just a little bit. So let's lift up for our first side in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Foot can be suspended in the air. You need to make it a little trickier. You can play with those hands. Maybe bring them up a little bit higher overhead. Playing around with that. Or maybe gently glancing side to side. 5 seconds and we'll switch. 3, 2, 1. Switch on over. Other side, same thing. Nice tall stance. Focusing that gaze on something to help with that balance. Final 10 seconds. Holding that stationary position. 3, 2, 1. Ease out of that one. Shake those legs out if you need. We're straight into cardio. So we're going to get that heart rate up a little bit. High knees or jog on the spot. Time begins in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And again, you're checking in with yourself to see what feels best here. Okay, if you're feeling a little tired today, maybe it's a gentle jog or step on the spot. If you have some energy, maybe we're going for a little jog. Or maybe a high knee skip. So finding something that feels good for you here. Gently gets the body moving, heart rate increased. Over halfway. Coming into the final 10-second mark. We'll finish off in 5, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back down. Grab some water here. We're going to take a couple deep breaths. When you feel ready, come back and we're going to restart with our second round through those exercises. Now, as we move into our second circuit, As a reminder, this is where you can start to think about, how did this feel for me? Was that really hard after that first set? Or did I feel like I wasn't working at all? So we want to have a gentle stimulus on the body, because that's how our body gets stronger, but we don't want to overdo it. So check in with yourself here quickly. How was that first round? And then make adjustments as necessary. Now let's get back up to our squats for round 2. So we're going to set ourselves up, nice tall posture here. Maybe you're adding weights to this one, or body weight if that feels better. We're going to begin here in 3, 2, 1. Second round is on. Big squat down. Breathing in. Exhale as we come up. We're always finishing nice and tall in this one here. Now you can see as I'm doing this, my chest stays nice and tall here. I'm not going to let my shoulders slump forward. So just check your posture. Make sure that core is turned on here as we're doing these guys. And then if the weights feel too much, keep on going with that body weight. You can always start a couple with weights and then switch out to finish body weight. Final 15 seconds. And then we'll move on to our next circuit. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Ease out of that one. Find your band for our second exercise. So when you feel like you've caught your breath, heart rate has come down just a little bit, we're going to set up for that lovely standing or seated band row. So find your position. We're going to hinge at the hips so our chest is towards the ground here. I want everyone to take a deep breath in, roll those shoulders back so we have a nice tall posture. Time begins in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Elbows lead the way. Inhale on the way down. Exhale as we squeeze those shoulder blades together. Perfect. Again, we always want just a little core engagement to protect that lower back. So we want to maintain that neutral spine. Halfway mark, 30 more seconds to go. And then if you start to feel those shoulders creeping up, I want everyone to stop, reset by taking that breath in, roll the shoulders down, and then continue with those rows. We really want to feel it between the shoulder blades, not creeping into our neck. Okay, final 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. You are done those rows. Let's take that band, put it to the side for right now. Into our balance. Again, your choices are single leg stance, or if you'd prefer, tandem walk balance. Let's get set up for that first side if you're doing single leg, or in the ready position for tandem walk. Time begins in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Let's lift up. Maybe you're gently holding a finger on something. Hands are in front. Breathing nice and evenly. Focusing that gaze in front on a stable object. We'll switch in 3, 2, 1. Flip on over. Same thing, lifting up. Here we go. Second side. At any point you touch down, just refine that balance. Continue to accumulate time. Final 10 seconds. In 3, 2, 1. Ease out of that one. Shake those legs out. Moving straight into our cardio. To finish off this first circuit, high knees, or jog on the spot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Time is on. Again, finding that intensity that worked well for you. We do want to get a subtle increase in the heart if that's available, but we don't want to feel too tired by the end. Remember, we're only in our first circuit. We have 2 more to go. Maybe you're going a little jog on the spot or a little skip. Amazing, we're 30 seconds in already. Keep going. Arms and legs are moving. We're still breathing the whole time. Coming into the final stretch for this first cardio. 5 seconds remaining here. In 3, 2, 1. Take a break. Grab some water. Bring that heart rate down. We'll reconvene for circuit number 2. All right, everybody, you should be feeling ready for our second circuit. Now, this one has 3 exercises. We're going to be doing a side lunge first. Second will be a lateral raise, so targeting shoulders. And then we'll finish with cardio, 2 feet out, 2 feet in. So let's go through our side lunge technique first, because this may be a new exercise for some of you. So we've been working on our reverse lunges before. Now we're going to move in a different direction. So we're going to start nice and tall. We're going to be taking a step to the side. I want you to try to transfer your weight onto this leg here, the one that we just set with, and then push the hips back behind as we bend at the hips and the knees. From here, we're going to drive up through our heel, up to nice and tall. So the muscles we're targeting are going to be our quads, so front of the legs, but we also want to make sure we're using some of our glutes or our butt muscle as well, okay? So we don't want to let the quads do all of the work. So we're going to focus on that step to the side. We'll do 30 seconds on one side, taking those little steps, and then as we take that step, push the hips back behind, drive up to nice and tall, and then we'll switch 30 seconds on the other side. Now our second exercise is a lateral raise. You have the option of doing it with dumbbells, or I'll show you with the band as well if the dumbbells are not available. So we'll start by taking that breath in, rolling our shoulders back. We're going to have a soft bend in the elbow. So we never want to lock our arms completely straight. We want to let the muscles do the work. And then we're going to be lifting those dumbbells out to the side, control back in. So on this one, I like to breathe out as I come to the side, control back in, and then repeat. If you did not have that dumbbell, you can take your band and you can step on it here. Same thing, we'll get nice and tall. You can even step on with both feet if your band is long enough. And then if it's long enough, you're going to try to get both out to the side. You can see my band is not long enough. So what I would do here is I would just step on one side and do 30 seconds to one side here, and then alternate at the halfway mark. Then finishing off our cardio is going to be as if we're doing a little ladder drill. So imagine a box is going to be out, out, in, out, in, out, in. All right, let's get up to it. First exercise, those side lunges. So we're going to start nice and tall, taking that step to one side. First side begins in 3, 2, 1. Big step to the side. Push those hips back behind. You can see this leg is bent, this leg is straight. Drive back up. Same thing here, control on the way down. Nice, strong up to finish. Hands, I like to hold them in front, but you can place them on your hips if that feels better. Controlling down, big up. Perfect. We're switching sides in 3, 2, 1. Halfway mark here. Switching to the other side. Again, we want to think about pushing the hips back, Not letting the knees come forward. Heel stays on the ground. So this is our finishing position here. And then we drive back up. Every time finishing nice and tall. Almost there, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Shake those legs out. Let's switch it to our upper body. Now I'll demonstrate with the dumbbells here, but again, sub out for the bands if that's better. I will call halfway if you need to switch sides as well. So as always, set that posture up, roll the shoulders back. We're going to turn the core on just a little bit here. Deep breath in, exhale, here we go. 3, 2, 1, time is up. Right out to the side, control back down. Exhale, and then control back down. Now remember with this one, we want to try to work on range for our lateral raises. So if you're using a weight that's a little too heavy and you can only get out to here, I would encourage you to maybe go down in weight so you can get straight to the side before we start to make it harder. Okay, we always want to increase our range before adding strength and weight. All right, we're just over halfway. We have about 15 seconds remaining. And we want to breathe out so we don't get too much in our neck. So breathing out is going to help us to keep the tension out of the neck. 3, 2, 1. Drop those dumbbells. Third exercise in this circuit. We're on to cardio. Out, out, in. Okay, let's get started here in 3, 2, 1. 1 minute starts now. So once you get the pattern, I'm going to encourage you to pick up the pace a little bit. Again, to break it down. In, out, out, in. Now that we have it, let's pick up the pace. Get those hands moving a little bit. See how fast those legs can go. This one's working our mind to body connection. We're 30 seconds in. Keeping up that pace, nice even rhythm. Amazing, everyone, you're looking good. Okay, final 15 seconds here. See if you can hold that same rhythm, but if you're getting tired, slow down a little bit. In 3, 2, 1, take a break. Our first round through that second circuit is complete. So, as we've done before, grab a quick sip of water, and then when you are ready, you're going to meet me right back here for our side lunges, round number 2. So, if you need to, pause the video, come back, and then let's get started. Again, remembering our posture is important for this one. So we're going to focus on using our glutes and our core to drive back up to standing. Here we go. Time is on in 3, 2, 1. Second round. Big step to the side, driving up. Focusing on hips coming back behind us. We're watching the knee to make sure it's over top of the toes here and it's not extending too far past. Breathing in, exhale to come up. We'll switch in 3, 2, 1. Other direction. Here we go. 30 more seconds of our side lunge. Good. Nice control on the way down. Big, strong up. Using our breath to help us. Almost there. Final 5 seconds here. In 3, 2, 1. Shake those legs out. We are done side lunges. Finding those dumbbells or the band. I'll demonstrate with the band for this guy on our second round. So I'm just going to make a little handle. Again, setting myself up nice and tall. If you're doing dumbbells, keep going with both hands. We'll take a deep breath in, turn that core on. Time begins in 3, 2, 1. You're doing the one side with me. Straight out to the side. Now, if your band's too hard, you're going to ease off of it. Remember, we want to try to get straight out to the side, but not sacrifice our form. So if it's too easy, then you're going to add a little bit more tension by stepping closer. All right, let's switch in 3, 2, 1. Flip on over. You're just going to flip that band and repeat here. Core is on. We're nice and tall. Breathing out as that hand comes to the side. Nothing's moving, so I'm not pulling to the side. Only my arm and my shoulder are doing the work. Almost here. Okay, final 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Take a break on that, guy. Drop that band. We're finishing off circuit 2, cardio. Now I'm going to add a little new element to this one if you're up for the challenge. So let's find our pattern in 3, 2, 1. Out, out, in, out, out, in. When you have it, adding that speed. Now, if you're up for the challenge, we're going to add some movement forward and backward. So pretend you're running up a ladder. Anybody used to do soccer or football, you may be familiar with ladder drills. And then if you can, try to take it backwards. Keeping that same movement pattern the whole time. Back to the center. 15 more seconds already. If you want, keep going forward and backwards. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Take a break. Our second circuit is complete. So as we've done before, grab some water, bring that heart rate back down. We're going to reconvene on the mat for our final third circuit, which is going to be core exercises.
All right, everybody, we're on to circuit 3 of our workout here. So again, these are our core exercises. And if you'd prefer to do them standing, you're also welcome to do them from a standing position. But we have 3 to get through here today. Our first one is going to be a progression of the core engagement. So deep transverse abdominis core activation. It's called a mini dead bug. Our second one is going to be a side plank, okay, or option to do the oblique knee tap if that feels better. And then we're going to finish with a little bit of hip glute med activation in our clamshell or the Jane Fonda hip abduction exercise. So I'll walk you through the 3 and then we will get started with our circuits. Now, for the dead bug, reminder, we're on our back here, okay? We're going to find that core engagement like we've been practicing. So those deep core muscles in our neutral spine. Knees are going to come up. Hands are going to come over top of the chest as well. We want to make sure we feel that core here. And then slowly with control, opposite hand, opposite leg, we're going to tap the toes down and then come back up, switching to the other side. Remember, always keeping that spine in neutral position here. Our second exercise, we're going to flip onto our side. And we're going to stack the knee in line with the hip. Now there's a couple options here. Elbow should be underneath the shoulder. We can keep both knees bent and come up here. I tend to like to extend my top leg for stability, or if you're up for a challenge, you can stack both legs and come up into a full plank. Okay, we're going to do both exercises on the one side and then we'll switch to the other side. So we'll do 30 seconds of our side plank and then we're going to relax back down onto the ground, stack the knees and the ankles. So the first option is our clamshell, where we're opening up the leg legs. You've seen this one before. Or the other option, if you'd prefer, is to extend your top leg, flex the foot so the toe is pointed up, and then we're going to just kick that leg out to the side, squeezing our glute muscle at the end here. So we'll do those two, flip around, other side, exact same thing. So without any delays, let's jump into our circuit here. Starting on our back, reminder, we're doing 1 minute of each exercise, so you take breaks as needed. Let's get started with our mini dead bug. Lifting those legs up off the mat, find that core engagement. So pull the navel up and in, find the pelvic floor muscle, and time begins in 3, 2, 1. So we're slowly dropping one toe to the ground, opposite hand. Maintaining that neutral spine, so not letting our back bow up off the ground. Reminder, if you feel any lower back pain, it just means that your core is getting tired. So just take a break. And then I want you to pay attention to your breathing here as well. So as we've talked about in previous weeks, we want to match our breathing to our circuit. Okay, so breathe in as we extend, exhale to come back up. Breathe in, exhale. These are looking great. We're almost there. Done with this guy. We have about 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. You are done the dead bug first round. Bring those feet back down onto the ground. We're going to flip over onto our side. And we'll set up for our side plank here. Again, option to do the side plank hip lifts or the nice side oblique knee tap if that feels better and it's not bothering the shoulder. So with that being said, let's get our position, either knee stacked, top leg in front, elbow underneath the shoulder. We're lifting up for 30 seconds. Time begins in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 30 seconds here. We want to keep those hips nice and high. Try not to let your shoulder round forward. So big, tall posture here. This hand can come onto the hips. Maybe you hold it straight up above. And then we want to make sure that we're not letting our shoulders drop down using our neck. So keep a little bit of back engagement on. We're looking good. We have 5 more seconds. We're going to drop down. 3, 2, 1. Relax back down. Staying on this side. We're going to come all the way onto the ground. And we're going to get into our hip abduction, so Jane Fonda exercise, or clamshells if you prefer. I'll demonstrate the first one. So 30 seconds on this side in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Kicking up. Remember, it's not about getting as high as you can on this guy. We want to make sure our toe is flexed forward. Okay, and our leg is almost in front because we want to target that muscle. So if we let our toe point up, I can get way higher, but then I'm not getting that muscle. Almost there. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. Let's flip on over. Same thing on the other side. So coming over here, we're going to move into our side plank on this position. Elbow is underneath the shoulder. Stack those knees if you'd prefer, or extend one leg and top. Roll those shoulders back and down. Lifting up in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Big hip lift up. Hips stay nice and high. Again, if you want, hand can open up to the side, breaking as needed, right? If it starts to get to be too much, just take a break, lift back up. Halfway there. Breathing here, holding that position, using that back to keep the pressure out of our neck. In 3, 2, 1, relax back down. All right, all the way down to the ground. Hip abduction, targeting the tops of our hips. 3, 2, 1, toes flex forwards. 30 seconds. We're trying to find that glute activation. Again, looking for that muscle here. Remember, we want toes pointed forward or down, legs slightly in front, thinking about squeezing our bum at the end of that range. We're almost there, and then we're back up to round 1. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We are finished circuit 1. Well done. Okay, back up for our second round through these 3 exercises. So if you'd like some water, feel free to grab it. And then we're going to reconvene here on our back. So pause the video if you need to. And then when you're ready, set up for our second mini dead bug. Finding that core activation, we're going to lift those legs up off the mat. Hands are up straight above the chest. Time begins in 3, 2, 1. 1 minute. Nice slow control. Engage that core. Breathe out. Breathe in. Out to come in. Perfect. Loving the control here. Listening to your body. If you start to feel back, scale back. Maybe just do the legs. That's okay. Or practice that core engagement in this position. Halfway there. Remember, we're just tapping the toe. So it shouldn't completely relax on the ground because then we lose our core engagement. So we just want to tap, tap, tap. Final 10 seconds here. In 3, 2, 1. You are done, dead bug. Hug those knees into the chest. Give that back a little stretch here. And let's roll onto our side for our side plank and side kicks. So finding your position, whether that's on the ground or the wall, chair, whatever you have. We're going to lift up for 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Lift those hips up. Nice straight line with our posture, right? We want to be in that complete line up over our heads. And then if you prefer, hand can come up overhead. Elbows under the shoulder so we don't have too much pressure in that neck. And you're just breathing, breaking as needed. And then right back up if it's available to you. 3, 2, 1, relax down. Nice work. Okay, all the way onto the mat. We're going to bring the legs in. Top leg is straight. Toes are flexed forwards. 30 seconds of our side kick. Jane Fonda hip abduction. 3, 2, 1, and begin. Right out to the side here. If this doesn't bring you back to 80s aerobic classes, I don't know what will. But it is a great exercise for that glute med, top of our hips. We talked about hip stability when we did our monster walks last week. Almost there. 5 seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1, and you are done that side. Let's flip on over and we'll finish off this side here. 2 more exercises and then we are into our stretching. So again, side plank here. Set your nice straight line, however you prefer. We'll lift up in 3, 2, 1, and begin. 30 seconds here. Holding that position, breathing. If you're feeling like you're using your glutes as well as your oblique muscles, you are. That's pretty normal. Break if you need to. Come right back up again. Almost there. 5 seconds remaining, guys. Hold on if you can. 3, 2, 1. Relax down. Final exercise for the day. So we'll bring our bottom leg forward a bit, cushion our head with our hands, and flex that toe forward. 30 seconds of our hip abduction begins in 3, 2, 1. Kicking out to the sides. Trying to find that glute squeeze here. You guys are looking good. Making sure that our hips aren't rolling back, they're still facing forward, so we get that muscle that we're out after. Okay, we're getting close. The end is in sight. Final 3, 2, 1, and relax back down. All right, you made it through your workout, week 6. So grab some water if you want, and then we're going to set up on our mat to finish off with our cool down stretching.
Well done, everybody. You made it through another workout. Now that we finished our circuits, we're going to move into a time of stretching. And I'm actually going to switch it up today. We're going to come to a standing position here. And grab your chair if you have it handy. So the first one we're going to start with is a stretch for the back of the legs. We're going to extend one leg straight out, toes point up to the ceiling, and you're going to hinge forward at those hips until you feel that stretch down the back of the leg. We're going to hold each side for about 30 seconds here, just breathing nice and deep, making sure our back still stays neutral so we're not rounding through at the shoulders. And then just breathing here. Let's come up nice and tall. Switch on over. Same thing, other side here. Hinging at those hips. It often doesn't have to be a big stretch or hinge to feel those hamstrings. You're feeling flexible, you can try to reach a little further down. Sometimes as you stretch, you'll start to feel things relax a little bit. And we'll ease out of that one there. So still sitting nice and tall. We're going to move into stretching our glutes or our deep bum muscles. You're going to take one leg, cross it on top, and then you have 2 options here. You can simply lean forward. You're going to feel that deep in the glutes there, or you can take that knee and give it a nice big hug in. Same thing, you'll feel it nice and deep in those glute muscles. So try both and see what you feel more, and then go with that one there. So we're hinging forward here from the front. Just have one leg crossed over, slight lean forward. Still breathing the whole time because our breath can help us to relax. So we're going to think deep breaths in through the mouth and nose, big exhale. And back up nice and tall. Let's switch on over. Same thing, other side. So ankle is on the knee. Again, either leaning forward here or maybe trying that big hug in at the knee. Playing around with what you feel works for your body. We're looking for a gentle stretch. Should never be to the point where we can't relax. It's so painful. And let's ease out of that one. Next one we're going to do while we are seated is a big chest stretch. So for this guy, we're going to open up our chest here. Palms are going to face forward. Now you can do this one from standing too if you prefer. And then I just want you to bring those hands up a little bit to the sides, keeping the shoulders relaxed down, and then gently pull them back. If you need a deeper stretch, you're going to slowly bring those elbows up a little bit higher. As you do that, you're going to feel that stretch all the way across the chest into the top of our biceps. If at any point it gets to be too much, bring those hands back down. Take a couple breaths, and then see if you can come back up a little bit higher without letting the shoulders hunch. Key is to keep those ones relaxed. this position here, we're going to take those hands, we're going to clasp them together, and I want you to try to arch those shoulder blades apart. So we always tell you to squeeze them together. We want to make sure we stretch those as well. So we're going to pull those shoulder blades apart here just a little bit, looking for that stretch in the back. Now if your hands don't clasp, that's okay. Just a reach forward as well. That works. And let's go through that one more time. Back into that big chest. Nice, tall, open chest. Pull the hands back a little bit. Find that big stretch. Playing around with that motion. And then hands are going to reach or stretch in front. Shoulder blades are getting pulled apart. And relax out of that one. Let's move into some shoulder stretching next. Hand is going to come across the body here. Looking for that stretch on the top of the shoulders. Now, if you're feeling like you can multitask, we're going to add a little wrist rotation here. So you're just going to do some gentle circles with the wrist. Making sure you go both directions, so switching here. And let's open that one up nice and wide. Switching over, same thing, other side. So finding that top of the shoulder stretch. And then if it feels good, adding that wrist rotation. Both directions, so making sure you switch here. And easing out of that one. Let's move into our quads. So I'm going to get everyone to come all the way up to standing. Now you may want something to hold on to help with the balance. So have your chair or your wall close by. We're going to stretch out the front of the leg. So you're going to grab onto your ankle, sitting nice and standing nice and tall, little core engagement. We're looking for that stretch down the front of the legs. Now, if this feels like too much of a stretch or you're struggling to get a hold of that ankle, use your chair. Make sure you stand by a wall for balance. And you're going to loop that foot onto your chair. And then just squeeze your bum, push the hips forwards. Now, that's also going to stretch the front of the leg, but it's not quite as big of a stretch as if we're holding on to it. So if it feels like it's too much, switch it out, try this one. And then we'll switch on over. Same thing, other side, using whatever method you prefer. Slowly easing out of that one. We're almost through our workout for today. Now the last one I want you to do is maybe just close your eyes. We're going to do a couple deep breaths in, rolling those shoulders back and down, getting ready for the rest of your day, whatever time of day it is. So if you want to close your eyes, you can. We're just going to do a couple deep breaths in. Breathing in through the nose. As you breathe in, I want you to bring those shoulders up. Exhale. We're dropping those shoulders back and down and repeating. And as we're doing these last couple shoulder rolls, I want you to take a minute and just thank yourself for coming and doing this workout. So you created time and space to take care of your body and to Give it some movement. So well done. Celebrate that moment. And slowly easing out of it. And everybody, you've made it through week 6. Amazing work. We have just 2 more weeks left in our summer exercise oncology program. So next week, you're going to get the honors of having Julia, another Health and Wellness Lab member. So stay tuned for the last 2 weeks. I hope you've been enjoying it so far, and we'll see you next time.